What's going on, Reds? Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode today. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and comment your thoughts down below. And most importantly, subscribe to never miss an upload. We upload very regularly, almost every single day. I got a couple things I'd like to talk about. I have some breaking news that occurred earlier today, and I have some other transfer talks that I didn't get to talk to you guys about because I didn't upload a video previously the day prior. And last but not least, I have a pre-match analysis for our match against Bournemouth, which by the time this video is released will only be about a few short hours or less away. So let's get right to it. Andy Robertson, of course, has been the topic of discussion over the course of the last couple of months, as he doesn't have a contract at the end of this season. And while he wants to stay, which is commendable, I am of the opinion that as much as I like Robo in a leadership perspective, as a player, I fear that to some degree the game is passing him by, and I feel as though he is no longer our first choice when it comes to left back, especially because Milos Kerkez has been doing a very good job. He's been doing a very good job the last month or so, and I think he's finally starting to come into his own in that position, which I think anybody could be like, whew, that's a relief, because he was struggling for much of the first half of the season. And it seems as though because we are in this predicament, Liverpool have decided to start preliminary talks with Tottenham Hotspur because they're looking to see if they could get a transfer for Robertson. I guess towards the end of the window, because let's be honest, it's the 23rd. We have maybe 7 or 8 days left of the month at this point, and if they want to start a deal, now would be the perfect time to get talks underway, so that way we can properly get him transferred over. Now, am I saying I want that to happen? No. I would like Andy Robertson to end his career, or not end his career, but end his Liverpool career with a very strong fan, goodbye, because of all the years of service to the club. But it seems like there may be a potential that that doesn't happen, and if anything, he leaves on a free in the summer, where he can go basically wherever he wants. I've discussed Celtic has been another option for him to go to the Scottish leagues, so it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. Plus, I don't know if the move makes sense for Robertson either, because let's be honest, if we are going to send Robertson away, and if Robertson wanted to leave in this transfer to begin with, he's already not the first choice for us, because it seems like Kerkez is becoming more and more the first choice once again in the left back position. So if he goes to Tottenham, is he also going to suffer the same fate? So I asked myself, does it make sense to leave Liverpool to be right back in the same position you were already in, though you get to stay in the Premier League? I don't necessarily know if that is the right move for Robertson from a career perspective. So that's all I really have to touch on the subject. Clearly there is no definite, decision made yet. Like I said, this is just preliminary talks. If it was up to me, I would just have him leave on a free in the summer and have a proper fan goodbye, much like we did with in years past with other players like Bobby Firmino and things of that nature. The only way I see this working this month in January is if we recall Kostas Tsimikas, who it seems like his loan with, I think it was with Roma, did not go well. It seems like they have canceled the loan, and he might have unlike Harvey Elliott, who we've talked about quite a bit, it seems like he might have a recall clause, and we can easily call him back and put him in the rotation for some depth. So I am not sure if that's going to happen. That's the only way I see a January move go through. And perhaps best case scenario from a fan perspective, the talks collapse and we just let Robertson go on his own, and revisit a possible extension for him, or give him a farewell in just a couple of months in May. So that will be that. Let me know your thoughts about that are down below. Mickey Van de Ven has also been the topic of discussion over the course of the last couple of months. It seems like more and more rumor is talking, well, not even rumor. I mean, it seems like it's becoming more and more realistic that we can make a move for Van der Ven. Maybe not in January, but we can certainly make a move in the summer window, which I still think is very ridiculous because I think we still need some definite, and I mean definite, depth at the center back position. Poor Konate and poor Van Dijk are absolutely killing themselves every single week in every single competition. Which, speaking of Konate, going back to the last video I posted, it seems like it is confirmed that his father has passed away, hence why he is not a part of the team at this point in time. So obviously, my condolences to him, and I wish him and his family well, and we look forward to seeing him back. And like I said, despite all the criticism that us as fans have given him this season, one thing is for sure, that we all as a community of Liverpool fans and players never walk alone. So, of course, that applies for Konate as well. That said, at some point in time, there may be an opportunity to replace Konate because he has yet to sign a new contract. It seems as though Van de Ven has been someone that has been in the news quite a bit the last week or so. It's kind of like funny how Nico Schlotterbeck kind of dies out of the news with this, because clearly we're not making a move for him either. Again, it's the 23rd of January. If we wanted to make a move, it would have been done already. Now Van de Ven seems to be the other name that is once again making headway in the news. And to some, he may fit Liverpool's profile perfectly because he's a left-sided center back, has a very good recovery pace, and comfortable defending in high lines. That said, Spurs, once again, this ties in with Tottenham, they consider him to be a foundational corner of their defense, and the contract situation with him seems to be remaining strong, and certainly will not be sold cheaply if that is the case. So, obviously, we can rule out January, but the fact that talks are still making headway in January going into the summer will certainly mean something, I believe, in the long run. And of course, the fact that we might have to pay 70 to 80 million plus valuation at a minimum, that might be a pretty hefty price as well. Although I will say too, from what I read, and I might touch on this in a future video, we are apparently number 5 on the football rich list. So it's money that we could possibly spend if we so choose to in the summer months. Another name that I have talked about quite a bit, seems like becoming more and more of a possibility, though a deal is not done yet, is Yan Diomande, a young player. Of course, Fabrizio Romano is the source in this, and I usually trust Romano as a news source for this particular sport. So what it says is what he's saying is that Leipzig doesn't want to sell, and it seems like other teams want him immediately. Tottenham, of course, once again in the conversation as well. United, also a name that we all have to worry about, and it seems like Liverpool, as I've discussed previously, are among the interested clubs. And it doesn't seem like Leipzig wants to leave him that quickly, because he's been performing exceptionally well. And they certainly, Leipzig historically certainly does not sell in mid-season unless they are absolutely forced to, and especially people, young players like Diamande, who are having an absolute breakout season. So once again, January, unlikely, but his name once again has made headway in the headlines, with Liverpool specifically, more and more. And it seems like Liverpool could be the credible fit for him, and their model and his style of attacking. So, once again, another summer transfer, which is really annoying. And I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks now. I hate having to report rumors like this because it's the same stuff. Oh, Liverpool's in talks about it. And it's the same cycle every couple of weeks where it's like, if we want him, just get him, or at least make an attempt, make it newsworthy. The fact that we want him is not news at this point because I've been talking about it for the last couple of months. So I would hope that news articles will be like, hey, they're really making a push for it. And that will be the day where I'm like, finally, we have some credible, newsworthy notes about someone like the likes of Diamande or Vanderven, or Schlotterbeck or something along those lines. But it seems like the summer will be a very big transfer window for us again, because it looks like we are going to have to make a push for a lot of players, because we either will be getting some players back or we will be getting nothing, because we're not going to sign anybody because we want to be penny pinchers, which I highly doubt is going to be the case right now in the summer. It seems like they're looking for another big spending year, and I hate that because the problem is we need players now, or at least players that could fit in the rotation. And we did sign a couple of young players for future uh, games and future years of the club. But the future, to me, means nothing as of right now because, well, obvious reasons. We're trying to make a push for, well, cut the Premier League out. We're trying to make a push for two pieces of silverware in the Champions League and the FA Cup. Last but certainly not least, speaking of the Premier League, we have another match on the way, and that is against AFC Bournemouth, who are not playing very well. They are doing quite poorly, if I say so myself. And the question of the matter is, how well can we do against Bournemouth, where we are also performing in the Premier League at a very mid level? Because our last 4 or 5 have been pitiful, annoying, sad draws, minus the Arsenal game, which was expected for me. Here's what I say. Semenyo leaving Bournemouth now kind of opens up the fact that they are no longer as much of an attacking threat. This game, because of Slot and his idea and his way of tactics in the game, is going to make this about possession. That's clear and evident. It's been a constant topic of discussion here on the channel and amongst fans online. It's going to be a possession-based game, very possession-focused. What do we do with the possession is the question. And from an offensive point of view, I hope we perform better than we have. And considering Semenyo is now a part of Man City, that is one striker we have less to worry about, because frankly, with the way Bournemouth are in the table right now, I know anything could happen. I've talked about this before. With the way anything can happen in the Premier League, maybe they score a goal. Maybe. That said, I don't find their attack to be as much of a threat without Semenyo at the helm of it. So who would be available in the starting 11 for me? Because there's a couple of iffies as far as who's going to be in there. Clearly, Konate is not going to be playing because of the passing of his father. Bradley, season-ending knee injury. Leone, again, season-ending knee injury. Isak is on his way back, which is a shock to me after that injury he had with his broken leg. So, um, we could expect him in a couple of weeks or several weeks from now. Chiesa is also doubtful. He's the minor issue. Unlikely to start. Would not be shocked if he subs in at some point very late in the game, as he typically done all season. The most important thing here to me from an attacking perspective is Papa Mo is back from AFCON. And that is why I am very excited, because I miss Mohamed Salah. It's been very rough without him the last few months from the attacking point of view. Granted, Ekitike and Wirtz have done a very good job holding the line as best they could. And now we have Mo, who, granted, had a bit of a few fuck-ups in that Champions League match, but hopefully he's coming back into the swing of things with Liverpool again, because he did have a couple of good chances. It's just that they weren't completed the way that we are used to seeing from the quality of Mo Salah. The other question we ask ourselves is Wirtz versus Gakpo, because we all know Slot really, really loves Cody Gakpo for some strange reason. And if you ask me, Gakpo doesn't see the field unless he is a substitution for somebody on it. Frankly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, if I'm giving any sort of lineup here, I'm kind of going to keep it what it already was from the Marseille game. I don't think there's a lot to change. I think that lineup, granted, the formation would be a 4-2-3-1. I think that lineup would be perfect. Allison in goal, Frimpong, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Kirkez in the defense. From right back to left back, obviously, is how I'm lining these up. McAllister in the double pivot along with Gravenberch. And in the attack, throw Mo Salah in there. Dominic Szoboszlai has to be in there because he's Dominic Szoboszlai. He's been our most consistent player all season. Florian Wirtz, again, left wing, put him in there. And Hugo Ekitike, I think, needs to be in the lineup as well. So that is where I'm going with this as of right now. Again, not a whole, outside of the formation, not a whole lot to change here from a lineup perspective. I think that lineup was the best we had seen from a performance perspective in that Champions League match against Marseille. And I know the Premier League and the Champions League are a little bit different, but I think for now, barring any injuries, we have found our starting 11 for the next few games until at least Konate comes back from his bereavement break here. So that's all I have to say today on Liverpool Latest. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the fact that you're here. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below with all of your thoughts with everything I've talked about today. And subscribe if you want to see more. I will see you guys for my post-match analysis and reaction. And remember, if you're a part of the Liverpool Latest family, you will never walk